Thank you, everyone, for joining me on potentially a very dry topic. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the lands on which we all meet today and pay my respects to elders past and present. I'm on Kaurna country where Kadlila, the winter season, has just started, and we're finally enjoying a little bit of long-awaited rain. So I kind of added an extra title to this topic because it sounded a little bit dry. So just remember King Julian singing, "I like to move it," and then think of AARNET and the things that we like to do. So data mobility came up in the draft National Digital Research Infrastructure Strategy under some recommendations for investment. So that's the kind of context for this brief talk. This is where AARNET is actively working to support the research sector. Although you will all understand well that those few words about data being moved to appropriate locations represent a set of challenges that are becoming increasingly complex as more and more research is more collaborative and more data intensive. So what is data mobility specifically? I often talk about data transfer, but if you think of data mobility, I imagine it as a much bigger umbrella with many spokes. And I was interested to hear Professor Paul Rowe earlier explain how from the researcher perspective, it is getting to be very complex, especially if you weren't originally trained as a computer scientist or as a data specialist. There are many considerations around collecting and sharing large files and data sets, and it can be very tricky. So my understanding of data mobility is this ability to for digital research data to be moved, to be accessed, to be shared, reused, go from different systems, from instruments to storage to HPC, and also changing boundaries in terms of, going to different geographical locations, either in Australia or in overseas. So it refers to both technical and governance issues. And you can see AARNET there is the high speed transfer. But we kind of want to jump out a little bit from that. We do see these pain points, people who are experiencing these increased demands all the time for managing their data effectively. They're also potentially having much more difficulty in their own time and how much at all time it can take. And then there's also those demands on the FAIR principles of journals and funders wanting the data to be publicly available in specific repositories. There's all the legal requirements, data sovereignty, and just so many demands. So this is where we're seeing that community engagement efforts are becoming more and more important. It's not enough to just make a tool available when there are so many factors to address. So what are the tools we have? We've got File Sender. For those of you who used to use Cloud Store, you will know it. It now exists as its own standalone tool. And that's a really great one for people who don't have technical skills necessarily, but they do have access to the internet, and you can use that directly through a browser. The other one is Globus, and that is a more complex and advanced option for those who need that more complex solution working across different instrumentation and facilities and so on. So they're the two tools. But in addition to those, what we are doing now is we're supporting a community. So we have now the Globus community, Australasia. So we have New Zealanders included in this community. And what we want to do is support this community of practice to connect research support professionals and researchers that use Globus, because it isn't just this technological challenge. There are governance issues as well. And to have a nice, safe community where we can get on and talk about all of these things is really the aim. So we're also hoping to get a birds of a feather happening for e-research this year. So keep your eyes open for that. Would be great to see there if we can get it up. And yeah, just come along and have a look at that website. We've created a website. There's also access to information, workshop material, and a whole bunch of other stuff. In addition to that, we are running a monthly online drop-in session called the Data Movers Lab. These are drop-in sessions, so just come, bring us your questions, or if you need to learn something, I'm not a problem. We've got our technical experts there so you can have a chat. These are currently quite small interactive sessions. We're not doing presentations as such. It's a drop-in session, but it is, I think, going to be more and more a place where you can come and also learn from other people's issues and create that kind of discussion across not just AARNET to researchers, but researcher to research or researcher support to researcher support. There will be one in late July, so register at the website. There's one every month. The other community activity that we have got going is the Globus technical catch-ups. These are more focused just on the Globus tool, and they include a presentation on a specific topic, and people from the team at Globus HQ in the US come along so you can hear about any latest updates and things directly from them. Then there's always time for Q&A and a bit of discussion, and the sessions are recorded. Previous sessions are available on our YouTube, so you can go and have a look at that if you're a bit new to Globus or you didn't know about it before. The next one of these is actually tomorrow morning, so please get in touch and we'll send you the registration Zoom link and so on. So come along to those. They're proving to be quite popular. There's only a couple of these a year. So to wrap up, we have a couple of tools to help you manage the data movement, but we're also building that out with some community management and engagement to understand that there is more complexity to just moving the data and hoping to build knowledge as we go with that. So please come along, share your questions or experiences. Always interested in really interesting use cases as well. We're here to help. Get in touch, and remember King Julian is, the one with the energy. Thanks, everyone.